Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Janice Cobham coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. We'll take a look at the headlines. President Buhari tells politicians Nigeria cannot afford another civil war. Federal government commends NCC's regulatory strides, plus Ukraine suffers major blow as Russia's latest missile strikes reportedly kill 11 people. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for joining us on the news at 4. First in our news today is a report that President Muhammadu Buhari has said Nigeria cannot afford another civil war. He urged the political class to preserve the country's unity through patriotic acts. The president, who spoke when he hosted former state chairman of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change (CPC) at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, expressed hope that Nigeria would remain one. On his part, the forum of the state chairman of the defunct CPC assured the president that it would use its platform to support the All Progressives Congress APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as it had preserved its structures across the country. In another development, the federal government has commended the leadership of the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) for the remarkable strides of the agency that has earned remarkable international reputation for Nigeria and placed the telecoms regulator in the forefront of the country's quest for national economic growth. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. William Alu, stated this recently while receiving the management team of NCC, led by the Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission, Professor Umar Dambata, who briefed him on the status of the industry after his recent appointment to the ministry. Alu said of a truth, the quality of the service has improved tremendously over the past few years, and that the Commission deserves a pat on the back for what it has done in that direction. He requested the leadership of the Commission to continue the good work and also thrive to bridge the infrastructural gap that may create a gap between the served and underserved communities in the country. And we move now to the legislature, where the Senate's Public Accounts Committee (SPAC) has given the Nigerian Maritime and Safety Agency (NIMASA) 48 hours to present to each document authorizing the payment of $5 million to a law firm for a service not rendered. The representative of NIMASA, Olamide Olusonya, told the committee that the matter was presently a subject of litigation in court. Olusonya explained that the agency was directed by the then Attorney General of the Federation to pay the $5 million legal fees. However, the committee, chaired by Senator Matthew Urogide, Edo South, rejected the explanation and asked the agency to make presentation on the information at their disposal on the payment of legal fees to the law firm. In the meantime, the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee to investigate the petroleum product subsidy regime from 2013 to 2022 has summoned the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, to appear before it on Tuesday next week for questioning. Ahmed is to appear before the committee with all the documents demanded by the lawmakers relating to subsidy claims and payments in the period under review. Chairman of the committee, Ibrahim Aliyu, who issued the summons at the continued investigative hearing of the panel in Abuja, decried the non-appearance of several invited agencies, calling out the Nigerian Police Force, Department of State Services, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Shell Petroleum Development Company, among others. The committee consequently gave the ministry 1 week to make all necessary documents available.
A letter is going to be sent to confirm to this honorable committee that I'm representing the Home Minister.
Director, this committee will listen to you. That you are here, but the honorable minister has to appear before this committee and will give you a date when she will come. You will speak to why the minister is absent today.
It's also good to also let those that are not here now know that we have teeth to bite. Nigerians can't be paying trillions of monies that we don't have, trillions of naira that we don't have, to subsidize what we don't.
Away from that, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has written ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, to refund over 1 trillion naira in taxes that they have failed to remit, as the MDAs are reportedly expected to collect certain taxes on behalf of the FIRS. Reports say these include value-added tax and withholding tax that emanate from contracts awarded at the states and businesses they engage with, and then act as collection agents of these taxes for the FIRS and afterwards remit same to the service. Reports say the MDAs have reportedly failed to remit these taxes, which had accumulated to over 1 trillion naira over the years. And in politics, the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi on Tuesday met with the Consul General of the United States in Nigeria, William Stevens. The former Anambra State governor disclosed this in a tweet on his verified Twitter handle today. According to him, they had constructive discussions and exchanged ideas during the meeting. Peter Obi said he shared his vision of a new, secured and united Nigeria, which would be birthed by the actualization of his presidential ambition with the U.S. Consul General. And meanwhile, Bruce Fenn, the United States lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has written to the British envoy in Nigeria over the continued incarceration of the Biafra agitator. Fenn urged the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Liang, to push for the enforcement of the United Nations UN Human Rights Council Working Group on Arbitrary Commission on Kanu's release. Recall that the UN Working Group had called on the federal government to immediately and unconditionally release Kanu. The body also indicted both Nigeria and Kenya for Kanu's abduction and rendition. Meanwhile, despite the call by the UN Working Group, Fenn had written to the UK envoy demanding it prevails on Nigeria to release the IPOB leader. In the letter, Fenn faulted Britain's silence over Kanu's continued incarceration. And away from that, Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State has warned against the illegal selling and buying of lands and shops at the popular Piri markets in the state. This is contained in a statement by the State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Uchenna Oji. Umahi warned the people involved to desist from the transaction, noting that the state government would punish the perpetrators. The governor noted that after 7 days from today, all lands and shop whose occupants fail to make their papers and appropriate payments would be short, stressing that the state government had not given anyone the rights to sell any shop or land at the Piri markets. And back here in Akwa Ibom State, the National Board for Technical Education has granted accreditation to 8 courses offered by the Federal Polytechnic Ukana in Akwa Ibom State. This was contained in a statement by the institution's public relations officer, Manasseh Umoita, made available to newsmen in Uyo. According to the statement, the approval was contained in a letter signed by the Director of Polytechnic Programs, MBTE, Architect Ogo Ngbede, and addressed to the Rector, Dr. Uduakson Ukekpe. The programs accredited include National Diploma Civil Engineering ND, Electrical Electronics Engineering ND, Computer Engineering ND, Science Laboratory Technology ND, Computer Science ND and Statistics ND, Accountancy and Business Administration and Management. The approval, according to the statement, was sequel to the resource inspection and verification exercise embarked on by the NBTE visitation team and the Polytechnic between 13th and 14th July 2022. In Africa, Kenyans are waiting for the result of the just concluded election to find out whether veteran Raila Odinga or incumbent Vice President William Ruto will be the next president. The two favorites out of the 4 candidates in the race have assured that they will recognize the results. Reports say unless one of the candidates receives more than 50% of the vote and is directly elected, the two leading candidates will face each other in a second round within 30 days. Meanwhile, electoral officials worked hard throughout the night under the eyes of thousands of observers to continue the count and allay fears of rigging. And still in Africa, the 11th Mongolian Armed Forces Infantry Unit has been highly commended for their peacekeeping work in the country. Reports say the force personnel have supported the implementation of the United Nations missions in South Sudan mandate under challenging conditions through diverse operations that include protection of civilians at risk of harm and have, among other challenging tasks, supported the delivery of humanitarian assistance to vulnerable people across Unity states in the northern part of the country. The contingent's large female participation was recognized with one of the leading recipients, Sergeant K.A. Dava Nyam, saying she is proud that the Mongolian military has made it a priority to deploy more female peacekeepers, noting that their work within the community goes an extra mile. Meanwhile, close to 10,000 Mongolian peacekeepers, including over 900 female personnel, have participated in peacekeeping efforts in South Sudan. And in another development, firefighters have finally overcome what officials described as the worst fire in Cuba's history, which has been on for over 5 days and has destroyed 40% of the Caribbean island's main fuel storage facility and caused massive blackouts. Reports say the raging flames that ravaged a 4-tank segment of the Matanza supertanker port had died down, and the towering plumes of thick black smoke streaming from the area have been diminished and now mostly gray. Mexican and Cuban firefighters worked to put out the fire at the fuel depot that was sparked by a lightning strike. On development from the war in Ukraine, at least 11 people were reportedly killed in Russian missiles attack overnight in Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region, not far from the Zaporizhia nuclear plants. Reports say both of the affected areas are on the opposite bank of Dnipro River to the Zaporizhia nuclear plant, which has been shelled several times in recent days. Both Russia and Ukraine have been fighting for over 5 months as of today, with several casualties recorded on both sides. And still on the foreign scene, former U.S. President Donald Trump is reportedly expected to be deposed by lawyers from New York Attorney General Letitia James's office today, pitching the two adversaries against each other after more than 3-year civil investigation into the Trump Organization's finances. The deposition comes during an extraordinary legal week for the former president. Recall that on Monday, the FBI executed a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, his primary residence in Florida, in connection with an investigation into the handling of classified documents. On Tuesday, a federal appeals court denied his long-running efforts to block a House committee from obtaining his tax returns. It is unclear whether Trump will answer questions or assert his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination during the behind-closed-doors testimony today. And still to come in the news. Many thanks for still being there. Now to the rest of our stories. On a business news, the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) says it has remitted 463 billion naira into the federal government's Consolidated Revenue Fund (CRF) in the last 5 years. It further said broadband penetration has also reached 44.30% in readiness for the fifth generation 5G technology deployments. Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission, Professor Umar Dambata, stated this when he led the management team of NCC on a visit to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. William Alu. Dambata, who briefed the Permanent Secretary on the status of the industry following his appointment, said NCC remained a major contributor to the gross domestic product (GDP) of the country. And still in business, according to published legal filings, Elon Musk has sold nearly $7 billion worth of Tesla shares amid a high-stakes legal battle with Twitter over a $44 billion buyout deal. The Tesla's boss said sold some 7.9 million shares between August 5 and 9, according to filings published on the Securities and Exchange Commission's website. Meanwhile, Twitter is locked in a legal battle with the mercurial Tesla boss over his efforts to work away from the April agreement to buy the company, and a judge has ordered that a trial will begin in October. This is as Musk has filed a countersuit accusing Twitter of fraud and alleging the social media platform misled him about key aspects of its business before he agreed to a buyout. And now to health. The Minister of State for Health, Ekoma Nkama, has hinted at special funding for the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria to assist in training specialists. He said that the level of brain drain in the medical field was also worrisome and efforts were on to reverse the trend. Nkama said these at the 16th Annual Scientific Conference and Fellows Congress organized by Postgraduate Medical College Fellows Association in Lagos. The minister, who was represented by Dr. Adedamola Dada, the medical director of Federal Medical Center Ibute-Metta, Nkama said that special funding for the college would help to accelerate the training of specialists in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Federal Ministry of Health is seeking to collaborate with the college to rapidly deploy simulations equipment and supports the proposed regional training centers to strengthen residency trainings. And still in health, the World Health Organization, WHO, has said that 160 million Nigerians are at risk of yellow fever. WHO said that with Nigeria's population of about 200 million, the figures makes up around 25% of all the people at risk in Africa. The global health body, however, said Nigeria had vaccinated over 45 million people against yellow fever during the COVID-19 pandemic. Reports say Nigeria has recorded no fewer than 1,005 suspected yellow fever cases in 2022, reported from 36 states, including the FCT, in 390 local government areas. Meanwhile, the Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Dr. Ifedayo Adetifa, has said there is a strengthened surveillance for the disease. And in sports now, Serena Williams has announced her plans to retire from tennis after the U.S. Open. The 23.
I mean, it's just one win, it takes a lot, but I was happy, like I said, to have a win. It's been a very long time. I forgot what I felt like. I don't know. I guess there's just a light at the end of the tunnel.
What is that like?
I don't know. I'm getting closer to the light, so that's yeah. So that's like lately. That's been it for me. I can't wait to get to that light.
I know you're joking, but can you?
I'm not joking.
Okay, so then explain to me what the light is to you. What the light represents.
Freedom. Yeah, I love playing though. It's like it's amazing, but it's like I can't do this forever. So it's just like sometimes you just want to try your best to enjoy the moments, I mean, it's just one win, for it takes a lot, but I was happy, like I said, to have a win. It's been a very long time. Forgot what it felt like.
And still in sports, Super Eagles assistant coach Paul Aigbogon has been appointed new manager of Danish second division side, Jammerburg FC. Aigbogon takes over from Nabil Trabessels, who said goodbye to the club recently. The 50-year-old coach has previously been in charge of Nigeria's under-20 national team, leading them to a round of 16 finish at the 2019 Under-20 World Cup. Recall that the former Nevada Wonders manager had in the past also managed Warri Wolves and two-time CAF Champions League winners Enyimba. On our entertainment news, popular fashion designer Toyin Lawani has revealed the loss of her fourth pregnancy. The Tiana's Empire's boss shared the sad news via her Instagram page. In the post, Lawani also revealed she had once been advised to remove her womb due to health risks she faced in her former pregnancies. Lawani, who said she dealt with a lot of multiple fibroid surgeries, arthritis, back and neck pains, side pains, adding that she sometimes wakes up paralyzed. The Real Housewives of Lagos reality TV star, who disclosed that a cyst was found in her brain during her third pregnancy, noted that she had to leave the country because doctors in Nigeria advised her to end the pregnancy in order to commence treatment. And still on entertainment, Grammy Award-winning singer Taylor Swift and her legal team have hit back in a copyright lawsuit in which the singer-songwriter is accused of stealing lyrics of her hit song Shake It Off. Shane Hall and Nathan Butler, who wrote 3LW's 2000 songs Players Gone Play, are accusing the superstar of using their words. In a court filing, Sweet's legal team insisted that she wrote 2014 Shake It Off by herself, while her attorney accused Hall and Butler of trying to cash in on the song's huge success. Meanwhile, Swift claimed that she was just 11 when Players Gone Play was released and that she was not allowed to watch MTV's Total Request live music video countdown show until she was about 13 years. And that's all we have for you on Spectrum News at this hour. Do ensure to follow us on all our socials and do subscribe to our YouTube page, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. My name is Janice. Do have a good evening.